Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to help you improve your English while talking about health and exercise. In this chapter, we will learn a technique called shadowing, which means listening and speaking at the same time. Shadowing helps you match the rhythm and tone of a native speaker. By practicing shadowing, you can become more confident in your speaking and more comfortable with English sounds. First, let's understand why we use shadowing. When you listen and repeat right away, you train your brain to recognize natural speech patterns. This makes it easier to follow conversations in real life. Today, we will focus on simple sentences about health and exercise. By choosing a familiar topic, you can focus on pronunciation and fluency without worrying too much about unknown vocabulary. Now let's try a short example together. I will say a sentence, and then you will repeat it immediately, matching my speed and intonation. Don't worry if you make mistakes. The goal is not perfection, but practice. Here's the sentence. I like to go for a walk every morning. Shadow after me. I like to go for a walk every morning. Ready? Here we go. I like to go for a walk every morning. Great. One more time. I like to go for a walk every morning. Notice how your mouth moves and how your voice rises and falls. That is part of natural English rhythm. Let's practice the same idea with a different sentence. I will say, stretching before exercise helps prevent injuries. Now you repeat, stretching before exercise helps prevent injuries. Once more, stretching before exercise helps prevent injuries. By shadowing these sentences, you learn both the words and the melody of English speech. You can feel how the words connect and flow. Keep this feeling in mind as we move forward. In the next chapter, we will explore the shadowing technique in more detail so you understand exactly how to use it every day. We will talk about where to pause, how to keep up when the speaker talks quickly, and how to improve your listening skills. Remember, shadowing is a simple method you can practice anywhere, at home, in the park, or even while doing exercises. By shadowing often, you build stronger listening and speaking skills. Take a moment now to breathe and repeat our two sentences again if you wish. I like to go for a walk every morning. Stretching before exercise helps prevent injuries. Feel free to say them slowly at first, and then try to match my pace. You're doing wonderfully. In our next chapter, we'll deepen this practice and learn more tips to make your shadowing even more effective. Keep this calm, encouraging feeling as you prepare for the main part of our lesson. I look forward to continuing with you. Understanding shadowing. In the previous chapter, we learned what shadowing is and practiced a few simple sentences about walking and stretching. Now, let's build on that foundation and explore exactly how to use shadowing every day. Shadowing means listening to a speaker and repeating immediately without pausing. This way, you follow the natural flow of speech, matching the rhythm, stress, and intonation. When you shadow, your brain works in real time to connect sounds, words, and meaning. By doing this, you train both your listening ear and your speaking muscles at the same time. Next, start repeating immediately. Do not wait until the speaker finishes a long sentence. Instead, repeat right after each phrase. If the speaker says, I love to stretch, shadow by saying, I love to stretch. Then continue, before I start my workout. And you say, before I start my workout. This quick repetition trains your brain to process English in real time. Over time, you will find it easier to keep up with natural speech. You will learn to think in English instead of translating in your head. When you first try shadowing, begin with very short phrases. If a sentence feels too long, break it into smaller parts. For example, stretching before exercise helps prevent injuries can be broken into stretching before exercise and helps prevent injuries. Repeat each part until you feel comfortable, then connect them. By working in small segments, you build confidence. You will notice that the words flow more smoothly when you join the segments back together. As you practice, pay attention to your mouth and tongue. Shadowing is not only about hearing, it's also about the physical movement of your speech organs. Try to imitate the exact mouth shape and tongue position you see or imagine. When the speaker says walk, notice that the lips come slightly forward for the W and the tongue rests just behind the teeth for the L. By matching these movements, you improve your pronunciation. Remember, shadowing trains both your ear and your mouth at once. Another important tip is to control your breathing. When you shadow, you must breathe in the right places, just like the speaker. If you speak without proper breathing, your shadowing will sound rushed or choppy. Listen to where the speaker naturally takes a breath and pause there yourself. For instance, in the sentence, "I like to go for a walk every morning," you might breathe gently after walk. Practice breathing at the same moment, and your shadowing will become more natural and relaxed. It is also helpful to adjust the speed of the recording. If the speaker talks too fast, slow down the audio until you can shadow comfortably. Many apps and players allow you to reduce speed to 75 or 80%. When you slow the audio, you can focus on each word and copy it accurately. As your skills improve, gradually increase the speed until you can shadow at normal speed. This gradual approach keeps you motivated because you always practice at a level that feels challenging but doable. Over time, vary the materials you use for shadowing. Start with simple sentences about health and exercise, then move on to slightly more complex dialogues. For example, practice a short dialogue. A. What exercise do you enjoy most? B. I enjoy yoga because it helps me relax. Shadow both lines. First line A, then line B, and continue back and forth. By shadowing conversations, you learn how health-related questions and answers flow naturally. You get used to the back-and-forth rhythm of real speech. To make shadowing part of your daily routine, choose a consistent time and place, perhaps every morning before breakfast or every evening after your workout. By practicing at the same time, you build a habit. Even 5 minutes of shadowing each day will add up. Consistent, short sessions are more effective than occasional long sessions. Repeat key phrases about health and exercise each day, and you will notice gradual improvement in your fluency and confidence. Finally, reflect on your progress. Record yourself shadowing and listen back. Compare your recording to the original speaker. Notice small differences and work on them. Celebrate your improvements, even tiny ones. Each step forward builds stronger listening and speaking skills. Remember that shadowing is a journey. Repeating key points, like matching rhythm, controlling breath, and copying mouth movements, will help you understand and speak English more naturally. In the next chapter, we will learn specific health and exercise vocabulary and practice shadowing those new words in context. We will link back to these shadowing tips, breaking sentences, matching breathing, and mimicking mouth movements as we introduce words like warm-up, cardio, and stretch. Keep these ideas in mind and get ready to expand your vocabulary while you shadow. You're doing great, and each practice session brings you closer to fluent, confident English. First, focus on listening closely. Find a short recording or video about health and exercise. It can be as simple as someone saying, "I love to stretch before I start my workout." As you listen, pay attention to how the speaker's voice rises and falls. Notice which words feel stronger, which parts are softer, and where the natural pauses happen. In shadowing, you try to copy these features as closely as possible. By copying the speaker's rhythm and tone, you learn to speak more naturally and with better pronunciation. Health and exercise vocabulary. In the previous chapter, we explored how to listen closely, match rhythm, control your breath, and copy mouth movements when you shadow. Now, let's focus on the key words and phrases you'll need when talking about health and exercise. As you learn each word, I'll provide a simple sentence for you to shadow, and then I'll repeat that sentence in a slightly different way so you hear the same idea again. This repetition will help you remember the vocabulary naturally. First, let's learn the word warm-up. A warm-up is a gentle activity you do before exercising to prepare your body. Try shadowing this sentence. I always do a warm-up before I start exercising. Now hear it again. A good warm-up helps me avoid muscle pain. Notice how warm-up appears at the beginning in one sentence and in the middle in the next. Shadow both sentences, matching the speaker's pace and tone. Another useful term is cool down. A cool down is the slow activity you do after exercise to bring your body back to normal. Shadow this. After running, I do a 5-minute cool down. Then here, cooling down helps my heart rate return to normal. Again, cool down appears first as a noun and then as a verb, cooling down. Pay attention to how the stress shifts slightly in each sentence and try to match that stress. Now, let's practice breathe deeply. To breathe deeply means to take long, full breaths, often to help you relax. Shadow. When I feel tired, I stop and breathe deeply. Then, deep breathing helps calm my mind. Notice the two-word phrase breathe deeply and the noun form deep breathing. Shadow both, matching the speaker's calm tone and gentle pace. Next, the phrase increase your heart rate helps describe how hard your body works during exercise. Shadow, running uphill will increase your heart rate quickly. Then, I monitor my watch to see if my heart rate has increased. These sentences show both the active form and a past participle form. Shadow them to feel how the verb changes, but the vocabulary stays the same. Finally, let's look at build strength. To build strength means to make your muscles stronger over time. Shadow, lifting weights helps me build strength. Then, I want to build strength in my arms and legs. Notice how the preposition in changes the focus in the second sentence. Practice both patterns, feeling the energy in your voice as you say build strength. Throughout these examples, you heard each key term used twice in different contexts. This repetition and variation will help you remember the words naturally when you shadow longer dialogues. In our next chapter, we will put these words into action by practicing full sample conversations about going for a walk, trying yoga, and setting exercise goals with a friend. We'll remind you of the shadowing tips, matching rhythm, controlling breath, and copying mouth shapes as you work with these new phrases. Keep these vocabulary words in mind and get ready to shadow your way to fluency. Next, we have cardio, short for cardiovascular exercise. Cardio means activities that make your heart beat faster. Shadow this. I enjoy cardio because it makes me feel energetic. Then repeat. Cardio exercises like jogging raise my heart rate. Say both sentences aloud, feeling the rise and fall of your voice on cardio and on heart rate. Remember to match the speaker's breathing as you shadow each phrase. The third phrase is stretch. To stretch means to gently pull your muscles to make them more flexible. Shadow. It is important to stretch after a workout. Then, stretching helps my muscles recover quickly. Notice how the two sentences use stretch as a verb and stretching as a noun form. Practice both, listening for the slight difference in pronunciation between the final T sound in stretch and the softer ending in stretching. Practice examples. In the last chapter, we learned useful health and exercise words like warm-up, cardio, stretch, and cool down. Now it's time to put those words into action by shadowing 2 full dialogues. As you listen, remember to match the speaker's rhythm, control your breath, and copy mouth movements. I will speak in short segments so you can repeat each phrase immediately. Let's begin with our first example about going for a walk. I will say, every evening I go for a brisk walk in the park. Now you shadow. Every evening, I go for a brisk walk in the park. One more time. Every evening, I go for a brisk walk in the park. Notice the words brisk walk and evening. Try to match the rising tone on evening and the gentle fall at the end of park. Next, after yoga, I feel calm and ready for the day. Shadow. After yoga, I feel calm and ready for the day. Notice how you breathe after calm before you continue to and ready. Now put these two lines together. On weekends, I join a yoga class to stretch my muscles. After yoga, I feel calm and ready for the day. Shadow both sentences in one go, matching the speaker's rhythm and pauses. Great work so far. Now we'll try a short conversation with two speakers. I will read each line and pause. You will shadow both voices. Speaker A. What exercise do you enjoy most? Speaker B. I enjoy swimming because it works my whole body. First, shadow Speaker A. What exercise do you enjoy most? Then shadow Speaker B. I enjoy swimming because it works my whole body. Remember to match the rising question tone on most and the steady tone on body. Next lines. A. Do you warm up before you swim? Shadow. Do you warm up before you swim? B. Yes, I warm up for 5 minutes to avoid injuries. Shadow. Yes, I warm up for 5 minutes to avoid injuries. Feel the quick rhythm in 5 minutes and the clear ending on injuries. Now join all 4 lines into one short dialogue. Shadow smoothly from question to answer, matching the natural flow. What exercise do you enjoy most? I enjoy swimming because it works my whole body. Do you warm up before you swim? Yes, I warm up for 5 minutes to avoid injuries. Finally, let's practice a longer sentence that includes vocabulary from the last chapter. I will say, after my cardio routine, I always do a cool down and deep breathing to help my heart rate return to normal. Shadow. After my cardio routine, I always do a cool down and deep breathing to help my heart rate return to normal. Once more. After my cardio routine, I always do a cool down and deep breathing to help my heart rate return to normal. Notice the flow from cardio routine to cool down and deep breathing. By shadowing these examples, walking, yoga, swimming, and cool down, you reinforce the new vocabulary and improve your fluency. Remember to listen closely, repeat immediately, breathe where the speaker breathes, and copy the mouth shapes you hear. Each time you practice, you build stronger listening and speaking skills. In our final chapter, we will review what we've learned and create a simple daily practice plan. You'll hear key points again in fresh sentences, so you leave this lesson feeling confident and ready to continue shadowing every day. Keep up the great work. Next line. Walking helps my lungs and heart stay healthy. Shadow. Walking helps my lungs and heart stay healthy. Again. Walking helps my lungs and heart stay healthy. Feel the connection between lungs and as you speak. Now combine the 2 lines naturally. Every evening, I go for a brisk walk in the park. Walking helps my lungs and heart stay healthy. Shadow both lines together, matching the flow and breathing between sentences. Let's practice the same idea with our second dialogue about yoga and stretching. I will say, on weekends, I join a yoga class to stretch my muscles. Shadow. On weekends, I join a yoga class to stretch my muscles. Again. On weekends, I join a yoga class to stretch my muscles. Pay attention to the phrase yoga class and the gentle emphasis on stretch. Throughout this lesson, you have discovered how shadowing can boost your English fluency, especially when you talk about health and exercise. First, you learned what shadowing is and why matching rhythm and intonation helps you speak more naturally. Then, you practiced breaking sentences into short phrases, controlling your breath, and copying mouth movements so you can pronounce words clearly. You also built a strong set of health and exercise words: warm up, cardio, stretch, cool down, Breathe deeply, increase your heart rate, and build strength, and use them in simple sentences. After that, you shadowed full examples about walking in the park, joining a yoga class, and talking about swimming with a friend. By repeating each line right after the speaker, you combined vocabulary practice with real-time listening and speaking. After you shadow, take a moment to reflect. You might record yourself and compare your voice to the original speaker. Notice where your rhythm slows or where your pronunciation differs. Then try those lines again, focusing on those spots. Over time, you'll hear your pronunciation improve, your confidence grow, and your ability to keep up with natural speech increase. Remember the tips from our shadowing explanation. Break longer sentences into smaller parts. Match breathing where the speaker breathes, and mimic mouth shapes for clear pronunciation. To reinforce your new vocabulary, choose one or two of the health and exercise words each day. Create your own simple sentences using those words, and shadow yourself saying them. For example, make a sentence about your own routine. I do a quick warm-up before my workout. Or, I focus on deep breathing when I cool down. Saying your own sentences helps you personalize the vocabulary and makes it easier to recall in real conversations. As you build this habit, vary your materials to keep learning fresh. You might shadow a short podcast episode one day, a workout instructor's video the next, and then a friend's English conversation about exercise goals. By exposing yourself to different voices and speeds, you'll train your ear to understand a wide range of accents and styles. Keep repeating key phrases in different contexts to reinforce your learning. Finally, celebrate every small victory. Did you shadow without pausing for the first time? Did you notice your pronunciation of cardio becoming clearer? Did you feel more comfortable matching the speaker's breathing? Each step forward is progress. Keep reminding yourself that consistent, gentle practice beats occasional intense sessions. Set aside a quiet moment each day, perhaps before or after your own exercise routine, to shadow for a few minutes. You now have all the tools, the technique of shadowing, the essential health and exercise vocabulary, the practice examples, and a simple daily plan to continue improving your English fluency. Make shadowing part of your everyday life and watch how your listening and speaking skills grow. Keep practicing every day and enjoy the journey toward more confident, natural English. Now, let's bring all those pieces together into a daily routine you can follow. Choose a short exercise-related audio clip or video, just 1 or 2 minutes long. It could be a simple description of a warm-up routine, a person talking about their cardio workout, or instructions for cooling down after exercise. Listen to the clip one time to understand the meaning. Then, play it again and shadow sentence by sentence, pausing briefly to repeat immediately. Aim for 5 minutes of shadowing each day. Even on busy days, a few minutes of focused practice will help your brain and mouth remember the natural flow of English.